All right, so today, making sure that you're paying attention, not starting yet, we have sheet 3, which is merging cells. All right, so we're moving on to learning, more of the little tiny things on how to make a nice looking spreadsheet. So again, this was done in Microsoft Excel, very similar but slightly different than Google Sheets, and ones like this are basically the same. So maybe the first thing you can see across the top is that you have a merged cell across the top. Merge means to put two cells together. So you got A1 and B1 combined together, C1, D1, E1 combined together, and F1 and G1 combined together. All right, in this program, the merge button is this little letter A with arrows on both sides of it. But on our program, it is slightly different. So what I'm going to do first is highlight the cells and merge them together. All right, so I'm going to go A1 and B1. I highlight those two. All right, and our merge button looks like this. It's just two arrows pointing to each other. So now A1 and B1 are now one cell. All right, I need to merge and center, or actually just merge, excuse me, C1, D1, E1. So again, I hit this button and it's going to merge them, and then one more set of merge here, and I merge those two. Now you see there is a drop-down menu there. You can unmerge and merge in different areas and stuff like that. But I'm going to talk about that later on, maybe in a different lesson. Now, so I got those cells merged, all right? So let's take a look here. I got name, date of birth, and city state that goes in each of those. All right. So just like I have said in the past, we want to. I think the best way is to enter all the information in first, and then you can go back and begin doing all of your formatting. Again, don't start. Pay attention. All right. So city state. So I have that information in there. Now, I'm not going to do all of this, but I'll just do a few. I'll do a couple names, a couple dates, and a couple of these other things. So that first one was Bill Smith. Whoops. Oh, and let's just go Rick. And I'm going to go over here. Smith and Jones. And date of birth. So let's do August 13th, 2010. That person's young. And July 5th, 2008. All right, city, state. So let's go with Orlando, Florida. And how about San Francisco, California, like so. All right. So I got that information in there. So now I got to do my editing and my formatting, all right? So let's take a look here and see what we got for editing and formatting. So it says here I merged these. Font styles, Arial 12, font heading is Chiller 14, stretch to fit, fill in colors, and then basically like so. So let's just take the 12 and 14 here. And so we're going to just, again, kind of, so across the top is supposed to be size 14. All right, that's the heading. And the name of the font is Chiller. We'll just do a different one that starts with C, Carter 1. Perfect. All right. And everything else was Arial. So I'm going to just highlight all of that in Arial. And the rest of that is size 12. All right. Making sure you're paying attention, Morgan. Okay. All right. So now I got all of that. But really, I'm still a ways away from making it look the same as what that other document is. All right. So first of all, you're going to see numbers are centered, states are centered, and then also centered headings. All right. So I have to go ahead and again highlight in chunks. I'm going to center all that, and we'll just center this, and we're going to center this, like so. Oops, I did not center that or something. Those are all centered as well. All right. You can see this is supposed to be acronyms and not the whole state. There we go. Now, I got that. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to highlight all of this, so I'll pretend that I have the rest of that filled in. I'm going to turn on the borders, all right, and then I'm going to color some stuff in. All right, so I have 3 sets of colors. Now, so I'm going to color this in. I don't really care if your colors match and so on, but there's something here I want to make sure that you are 100% understand what you're doing, because sometimes students don't do this part correct. So you can see right here like some of these columns are wide and then some of them aren't wide enough. San Francisco does not fit there. All right. And usually, like lots of times, you want to make sure that, I think in general, you want to make sure that you can make them as small as possible. All right. Without like cramming stuff in there. And so, what I mean by that is this D column right here. I'm going to go up here. It doesn't, like, that's the biggest number is going to be 2 digits because it's date of birth. It doesn't need to be that wide. So I'm going to shrink that down and make that nice and kind of narrow. All right. Not too narrow. We don't want it like this. All right, but we want to, shrink it down a little bit. Same thing here. We're going to shrink that down just a little bit. This obviously, San Francisco, it's a pretty long word, but there are other cities that are even longer than that. So I got to stretch that one longer or wider. All right. And then again, this is the longest thing here is going to be just 2 letters. So I'm going to shrink that down as well. So when on this document here, when it says stretch to fit, that's what I mean. And I have the grid lines turned on and so on. All right. And then the same thing here. Depending on the name of the people, these are pretty short names, but you could have longer ones in there. All right. So, what's that? Okay. So across the top, we have size 14. And again, a font that starts with the letter C. Everything else is size 12, Arial font, stretch columns to fit, turn on borders, color it in, make it look nice. All right, don't just fly through and not do those formatting. The formatting is what makes a spreadsheet look nice. Questions? All right, so this is spreadsheet 3. Make sure that you